to the Anchored Voice. This is a podcast helping men to anchor life. I'm your host, Dr. Phil 2. Welcome to the program. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Anchored Voice, a podcast helping men to anchor life. We want to welcome you to our broadcast. Oh, man, listen, I'm going to introduce my guest in just a minute. But listen, I have a clip I'm going to play because this is sponsored by JU Consultants. And my man Jeffrey is here in the house, in the place to be. And we're going to talk about some stuff that we're doing this week. We're going to talk about some things that's going to impact men's life right now. What's up? That's what's up. Mr. Jeffery Ulysse. Listen, thank you so much for being on the Anchored Voice. I love that video. I love that promo there. I love what you're doing in the community of Brooklyn. This week you're empowering people in financial literacy. Yes, you've been empowering young people for a very long time to be their best. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing with JU Consulting.
Yeah, for sure, man. But definitely first and foremost, Phil, Dr. Phil, man, thank you so much for having me. Shout out to you, McGuire Entertainment, Anchored Voice, all that you're doing. Also your fashion brand. Shout out to you, Real Talk. So Real Talk, man. So thank you so much for having me on your show on this platform. It's super dope. But yeah, man. So this week we partnered with McGuire Entertainment, and we are live this week doing a virtual intergenerational financial literacy conference for 4 days. We kicked off day one, which was a wrap, which was crazy. It was a legit movie. My phone was blowing up. My phone was blowing up. Emails was blowing up. And, it was really tasteful. It was a really tasteful production. And so day one, we talked about credit. Day two, we're talking about taxes. Day three, we're talking about money management, budgeting, and savings. And for the final day, which is day 4, which is on the 14th, because the conference is running the 11th through the 14th, that final day is on entrepreneurship. And so we've got a dope lineup. Everyone who has been, all of our speakers are licensed. Let me say that they are licensed professionals. So they are experts in their matter with the adequate or respective qualifications to show that, right? And so we've got a licensed CPA talking about taxes with us tomorrow, right? For entrepreneur, right? We have a serial entrepreneur with us. And so folks that was talking about credit, and money management, they are licensed financial advisors. I won't share who they work with, but they work with the tops of the food chains, right? They work with those, giants per se. So we're blessed to have them partner with us and really on this virtual platform. Our brand at JU, we don't call ourselves a company. We don't call ourselves an organization, but we call ourselves an organism. And so everything that we do is not on brand, but it's on strand. And this production and this presentation has certainly been on strand. And so that's what we're doing this week. Our model is quite unique. It's quite different. It's not the cookie cutter. It's not the average, and again, how we're revolutionizing youth development and this virtual platform here is by introducing a model called edutainment. It's providing education and entertainment. And it's the beautiful symphony and the beautiful harmony of the two coming together to produce something that's, simply masterful and breathtaking, that's done with an excellent spirit and that also honors God. Because that's who I am. I love God. Really, I just believe that God loves me. And so that's very important to us. And so I know that, this is the anchored life, right? that's the steps to the game, right? Of being anchored. You know what I'm saying? And so for me, just understanding that God loves me and that God's for me, real talk, is something that anchors me, and that's an anchor for this conference, like for real. But yeah, man. So thanks for having me. I hope I wasn't too long-winded with that intro.
No, that's great, man. We're having a great time in this financial conference. Money matters, and you've been really talking to youth for a very long time.
Yes, sir.
What is your main message when you speak to young people about their life? I mean, I saw them in the video just crying. What in the world are you telling them that's making them so emotional, man? I mean, these are kids now. What are you telling them?
Well, I'm speaking to who they really are, not who, not really what their friends have told them they are, who they said they are. Oh well, hey, I'm ugly, or I'm this, or about my teeth, or just whatever those things, right? Those words. I mean, what there's something. I mean, children. We hear this in children's stories in children's school. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but your words will never hurt me. That's a lie. That's a lie. And so for me, I understand that my words are spirit. I understand that my words are life. And so I direct them in speaking to who they really are, and who they were designed and created, to be. And so I just speak to their divine essence. I speak to who they were formed and fashioned in that image. I speak to that image. And so every time I see a young person that I don't see their I don't see them in front of me, but I just see their image. I see the imprint. I see the name. I see the name of the manufacturer.
Come on.
And that's what I see. And so that's what I speak to when I'm engaging with young people. And so that's just how I'm wired, and I believe that that's just, and whatever happens. I don't plan the results. I don't plan, to have kids crying or whatever, but I think it's just, unearthing, awaking the sleeping giant, and I think it's reminding a generation who they are, and reminding a generation to say, listen, put your eyes on yourself, take your eyes off of your other person, off of your friend, off of what somebody else is doing, and put them on yourself. Spend time developing yourself, like get in the lab, learn not just to, before you can get to the place of loving yourself, learn to like yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And I know we're talking about the anchored men. This is something that us as men also need to get into a practice and a world of doing. Learn to get into a relationship with yourself. Yeah. I mean, the pandemic was such a beautiful opportunity, because we were at a time of social distance. But watch this, it's important that we didn't socially distance from ourselves.
Yeah, it's true.
So, but that's my message, and for me, I'll go ahead and say this, I believe that if I have not learned to love, then I have no right to serve. I have no right to stand on the platform. I have no right to stand before young people. I have no right to stand before anyone, and so that's the message. And that's what I strive. Well, really not strive, but it just comes from a place of being, but that's the mantra. That's the vision. That's the goal.
That's right. Listen, we want men to really have a relationship with themselves, understand who they are. We have a lot of people that beat themselves up. And matter of fact, there's a lot of people that love to be beat up, right? In order to feel like they've been told a message. And when you don't tell a message that's beating somebody up, and you actually tell them you're encouraging them and you're empowering people, they look at it as a soft message. What do you say to that? Because there's a lot of people, whether you're in church, whether you're, on the streets, it doesn't matter. A lot of people, they want that tough love. They want that tough message. But what do you say about the message we tell each other and tell ourselves?
Well, I think that's part of the narrative that we need to debunk of toxic masculinity. right? Because that's exactly what it is. It's a root of it that comes from culture. One of the things that I tell people is that culture cultures. And what you are cultured by, well, then, what you are cultured by and with, that will be the culture in which you teach. That'll be the culture that which you raise up your children, or you raise up, whatever it is that you do, or you practice your business. And so, I believe in really debunking that stigmatism, because I think that what it's doing is causing a generation of men to be emasculated. To say that and say, oh, well, you can't cry, or you can't, you can't, share your emotions, or or you're too soft. You know what I mean? That's not the makings of a man.
Yeah.
That's not the makings of a man, right? And I think that's, it's so funny. I mean, I'm not, listen, I just, like I said, man, there was just something, I'll share this. It was something that I was reading. I was reading a piece of scripture, and I didn't really want to go here, but just it's so relevant. And what David said to his son Solomon, he said, prove yourself to be a man.
Yeah.
He said, prove yourself to be a man and keep the statutes and the ordinances of God. So we look at now what manhood really is. Manhood has nothing to do with, okay, am I soft, am I hard, am I emotional? It has nothing to do with that.
Come on.
But the point is, man, it's about, what for me, what manhood is about, man, and being anchored, man, it's really being a man of purpose, being a man of conviction, being a man of integrity and sticking to your convictions, being a man of hunger and drive, and being, even keeled and even tempered, in control of your emotions. That's what manhood is. It's manhood is about being responsible. It's about being accountable. It's about owning your junk, before your junk owns you, right? Or you start pouring your junk out on other people because you haven't taken the time to deal with your junk. Too many men, because they failed to deal with their junk. Now you're 70 years old, 60 years old chronologically, but you're only 15 emotionally.
Come on now. Yeah.
But you're only 6 years old emotionally because you haven't gone back to you as 6 and dealt with that stuff that needed to be dealt with.
That's so critical, because we are not dealing with the root of our issues.
No,
we're not dealing with what imprinted us. We're not dealing with what created within us that pessimism that we have for each other, for ourselves. And, until we deal with that root, we'll never be able to press forward in the future.
Absolutely.
We'll never be able to see our future.
You know what? Yo, real talk. Where there's a root, there's fruit.
That's right.
And oftentimes, you know what I'm saying, that fruit, hey, we'll know a tree by its fruit, right?
Yeah, that's
you
right.
know what I'm saying? But not all the time, it could be real, it could look real juicy, but real talk, that thing could be, spoiled. And we have to do, like you said, we have to deal with the root. But again, we've got to get into a practice of spending time with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We have to get into a relationship with me. I need to get into a relationship with me. So there's so many young people, they get into relationships so early, especially young boys. They get into relationships so early without even discovering who they are, what they like to do, what are their hobbies, what are their niches, certain these things. And so now they get into so many relationships, and now they're giving so many pieces of themselves away. And now you get to 12, now you get to 15, now you get to 20. You've given so much of yourself away. Now you're fragmented.
Yeah.
Fragmented.
Yeah.
And so again, we've got to get into a practice of, just meditation, of just get let me just take some time for me. Let me slow down. Let me quiet all the noise. Let me get off the IG. Let me get off the social media. Let me speak up sometimes and say, no, I can't do this right now. You know what I'm saying? And let me just, let me make sure that my glass is full.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, our last podcast we did before this one was called Know Your Capacity. Know your capacity.
That's good.
Know how much you can handle in a day. And so we're talking about knowing yourself, knowing who you are, so that you can be your better self to somebody else.
For sure.
So first you've got to tap into who you are. And especially, and this principle goes into wealth. This principle goes into a positive mindset. It goes into discipleship. It goes into a well-rounded person. If you could become that well-rounded person and start figuring things out, then everything starts to come together. Finances start to come together.
Absolutely.
Your entrepreneurship starts to come together. Your leadership starts to come together. It's all about impacting the whole person so that everything is. It's all right. I'm going to use a baseball analogy.
For sure.
Players who try to hit the home run usually end up popping out or flying out or hitting a ground ball because they're always swinging for the fences.
For sure.
But when you swing level, that's when the ball is able to fly. It'll
Absolutely.
either fly out and hit a home run, you'll hit a good line drive base hit, or you'll hit it through the middle. But if you hit with a always an uppercut, swinging for the fences, it's not going to get you anywhere. But if you find out where your balance is,
Yeah.
then you hit the ball more effectively. So yes, we want you to aspire for greatness. Yes, we want people to be their best, but you have to be that even person, that person that's well-rounded, that person that has worked on their character. And when I see people and they have worked on their character, they have strengthened their character, it becomes a force to be reckoned with. When you hit that balance in your life.
Real talk. Phil, I mean, that's money. That's money. That's not old money, man. That's new money. That's good. I am a product of that. I'll be real with you. I'm a product of that. I literally took probably a little bit over a year sabbatical. I was in New York, and I had moved over to New York. I had transitioned on my business out, out in another state right now. But I literally, when I got out here, I literally legit took a year sabbatical. I've been in business for about 4.5 years, about 5 years. This was the first year I literally took a sabbatical and took that time. And you know what I did? I looked myself in the mirror and I said, it's time to doing some growing up.
Yeah.
It's time to mature. It's time to do some soul work. It's time to go back to your childhood.
Yes.
Go back to those places in you and now deal with these things.
Yeah.
And I took a year. So now we back on the scene. JU's back on the scene. We got new systems, new structures. The way we doing business is different. The model's crazy. You know what I'm saying? But the fruit of that is because I took the time to do the work. Now we have a legit product.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Not a sample size, but a legitimate product. And it's because I said, yo, real talk. I need to prove myself to be a man. And I need to look myself in the mirror. I need to face my music. I need to hear that music. I gotta go to those places and get real violent. You know what I'm saying? Metaphor, it's metaphor. You know what I'm saying? And really deal with me. And come into a greater relationship with me. It couldn't just be, okay, yo, hey, well, I like this about me. No, this is what love looks like. This is what loving yourself looks like. You have to love yourself enough, not just like yourself, but love yourself enough to take the time and be real with yourself and do a self-check and say, yo, because right now, because we talk about business and money, because guess what? It'll cost you.
That's right.
It'll cost you financially. It cost me. It cost me.
Mm-hmm.
What I realized was that I had a way about me that, it wasn't frugal, right? I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about money management and doing this and doing that.
Yeah.
And I got holes in my pockets and wallets.
Right.
That don't make sense.
Doesn't.
It don't make sense.
Yeah.
I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking about credit. I'm talking about certain these things, you know what I'm saying? But then I look at me right quick, I'm like, hold on, bruh, you wrong and strong. You
Got
know,
some things to adjust.
yeah, I had, so I had to take that sabbatical, you know what I'm saying? So it's important to, in knowing yourself that you got to be, that you have to sit with yourself, be a man and sit with yourself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
like it. I like it. Let's talk about, just for the last few minutes,
Sure.
your book. You wrote a book. You wrote 2 books, as a
Yeah,
matter of fact.
yeah, for sure.
So give us the title of your book and what you're talking about in it.
Yeah, so I got so I just sold out of my new book. My latest book is called From Passion to Profit. Literally just sold out. Super grateful for that.
Yes.
A client literally called me and it was like, yo, we want everything that you got in your inventory. I was like, yo, say less.
Right. Absolutely. So passion and profit.
From Passion to Profit. And that's really, it's teaching youth and young adults, and adults and really just millennials how to liquidate their passions, so that they would be able to create passive income for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
But also what's very unique about the book is that it's interactive, right? And so I have exercises in there, I've got activities in there. And so I strategically designed it in such a way and placed the activities in such a way, whereas if you actually go through the entire book, then what you'll discover is at the end, you'll come out with a tangible traditional business plan. So this book now allows you to get your ideas out. That what was that dream that you had? What was the idea that you had? What was that one thing that she's like, man, you got these inventions and stuff like that. And so now we have a way, a technology, if you will, to be able to put it to paper while you're reading. You know what I'm saying? And take time to meditate on it and just do your thing and stuff like that. And so that's what's really unique about the book is we give folks an opportunity to really, to have a solid product, while getting enlightened and stuff like that. And so we talk about what are your soft skills. We talk about what are your hard skills. We even share what those things are. And so, because if you really want to engage the marketplace, you've got to understand the language of the marketplace, because the marketplace has a language. And so we have to come into a relationship with that language, because marketplace is money. You need to know the language of money. And so you need to know some, even we talk about business and wanting to go on those ventures, if you have an idea, okay, well, who are your competitors? Have you done, that analysis, right? That research and stuff like that. So we talk about a lot of those practical things. And that's what I love about this new book, because it's really practical, right? We're not taking a whole bunch of financial jargon and all of this stuff, and it's just out here. We getting all lost in the Kool-Aid, lost in the something. No, right. We're bringing it here. And it's super practical, but it's also rich. And it will allow you to come out after you've done this. You'll identify what your gifts are. You'll identify what your talents are. You'll identify your soft skills. You'll identify your hard skills, and you'll literally have the skeleton of a business plan, of a traditional business plan. So that's From Passion to Profit, and it's available on Amazon.com. And this is actually my first book here that I've written, and it's called All About My Money. And what I love about this is because this is really the foundation. This is like the blueprint. Like this is the first step right over here. And so because this book is all about creating a wealth consciousness, this book is about coming into examining your relationship with money, your relationship with your finances. And we have a cool little tool that's called, because I have my background is I've got a health science background and a couple other, stuff in college and degrees that I've graduated with. But in the health world, we talk about something called a body mass index. But in this book, we talk about what is your money mass index, because we want to measure your financial fitness. And
Mm,
so that's what this book is all about. It's all about creating financial fitness and creating a consciousness, a fiscal consciousness, where we're getting young people,
mm,
adults, you name it, whoever, getting you into a relationship with money, not later, but right now. And so that's what this book is all about. We cover a lot of different things. And again, in both of these books, All About My Money and From Passion to Profit, you can find them on Amazon.com, just / Jeffery Ulysse. And both of my books will come up. And for sure. And if you do decide to purchase, drop a review.
that's right. Please review. Please write the review. That's right. That's what we want to talk about, writing reviews and helping each other. And so we believe that this book, so you can get on Amazon, From Passion to Profit. So we
Yes.
want to turn your passion into profit. And it was great because we just did a workshop for some parents on
Yo.
how to help their kids turn their passion into profit, how
Super
to
dope.
help their kids be entrepreneurs. And we were able to do that in impact schools. So,
Yo.
you can, everybody, if you're a teacher, you have a school, you can book either one of us. Jeffrey is definitely great for your institution, your kids. Bring a great team. He has an awesome team. Wow,
Talk,
love
bro.
his team. I mean, just well run business.
Mm.
So check out JU Consultants. Follow him on Twitter, on Instagram.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're on IG at
you're on
JU.
IG.
Mm.
Okay, so
You
we're
sir.
gonna put that into the chat, and so we're gonna make sure everybody can see that. And then, if you're listening in on whatever it is, Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, uh, Odyssey, check out JU Consultants at JU Consultants on IG. Check
Yeah.
out his book, From Passion to Profit, and also All About My Money. All
Yes.
About My Money. We're talking about knowing yourself.
Talk.
Knowing yourself. All right. So check it out, everybody. We're going to say a few last words as we go. What are 3 ways to know yourself? Just give us 3 different ways to know yourself before we close this podcast.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if I, right off the rip, man, 3 ways to know yourself is one, you need to sit down with yourself. Number two, you need to be open, honest, real, vulnerable, and transparent with yourself. But I would say even just before that, the third, I would say is that be bold. Be bold. It takes courage. It takes courage, to really want to take that step. And so what I would say, the first things first is really, if you are serious about embarking on that journey to know yourself, if you really want to do that, count the cost and sit down with yourself. Be bold. Take courage. And be vulnerable and be honest and be transparent with yourself. And don't be afraid to do that, because you know what, quite frankly, you owe it to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's a quote of the day. You know what you know, and I need you to know that. You
For
know what you know, and I need you to know that. And what I'm saying is, you have knowledge of yourself. You have knowledge of your skills, of your abilities,
Yeah,
and a lot of us doubt ourselves.
for
And
sure.
sometimes we have to be told what we already know. Like, you know what you know, but you need to know that.
For sure.
And so, to be confident in knowing yourself, be confident in what you know and work in that lane of what you know, work in that ability of what you know, and you'll start to increase. You'll start to get better. You'll start to learn more. I mean, I think this pandemic has helped us to know ourselves and the skills that we have and the journey and the lengths that we have grown. Like, wow, I wasn't able to do this before, but now I am.
one of the things I was doing, I was doing some virtual stuff during the pandemic for a couple colleges rather, and we were talking about the pandemic, and that what we said, listen, that depending on how you utilize your time in this pandemic, who comes out this pandemic, you'll either come out debilitated or rehabilitated.
That's right. Come on now.
Simple as that. Take the time while the nation is still slowly opening up and coming back to a sense of new normalcy. Take this time to know yourself. Be anchored in yourself.
That's right.
It's so absolutely critical.
Yeah.
Critical.
Wow. I can't thank you enough, man. This has been great. This is a wealth of knowledge. And so listen, everybody, on podcasts and listening on YouTube and Facebook. Listen, be strong in what you know, be strong in yourself, be anchored in yourself. Always stay anchored. I'm Dr. Phil too. This is Jeffery Ulysse, and we are on the Anchored Voice, a podcast helping men to anchor life. God bless you, everybody. Stay anchored. Thank you for listening to the Anchored Voice. For the video edition of this, subscribe to our YouTube channel, McGuire ENTV. For audio, listen on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, or Stitcher. Until next time.